So this is it. This is meant to be the period of the season that defines where Forest will finish, according to mainstream media. But how will Forest fare this week as we go on an adventure to Manchester? Welcome to the preview for Man City 115 versus Forest. Good morning, good evening, or good night. Hope you guys are doing well, and welcome to the preview for 115 versus Forest. If you're enjoying the content, please don't forget to hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to Forest Man TV if you are new. And you have 1 day left to get your hands on this double-framed Elanga Callum Hudson-Odoi bad boy from Football Prizes with insta wins. If you hit ticket 34, you get Ola Aina's shirt. I actually think that's better than the main prize, but that's my opinion. And ticket 190 gets you Moreno's shirt as well. Scan this QR code or click on the link that's pinned in the comments. All right, let's get into this because it's building, it's time. It's, as they say, the season-defining month for Forest. Well, so far, so good, because we're undefeated technically still in there because we haven't played. This is the big one. We got Man City this week, and then Man United on Saturday, and then Villa, Spurs, and a few others. So it's an important month. If Forest come out of this month anywhere in and around the top 8 for me, then let's go. Europe is realistically on. How much longer do we have to wait as a fan base before that mainstream media, the narrative, is allowed to be changed? Because all we ever hear is, oh, it's early days in the season. Then we're hearing, it's only a quarter of way through the season. At the halfway mark, will we be allowed, or do we have to wait until the final day before we can say we are technically in a race for Europe? So, screw those narratives and screw Man City as well with their 115 charges. We spoke to Daps about it on yesterday's video. Make sure you check that out. And he came out with all his excuses. Oh, everyone's breaking the law, blah, blah, blah. Go check it out. It's quite funny to hear. But in terms of the game itself, this is a good time to catch Manchester City. With them losing 4 in a row in the Premier League, 6 in a row in all competitions, Forest come to them after they've lost to Liverpool, which technically some believe has ended their title charge, which means surely it's a good time for Forest to face them. Or is it Charity FC Forest style? That's my biggest worry about this match. It really is. In a way, I would have quite liked them to have taken a point from Liverpool, just so it's not us rocking up with the narrative against our name. So, we're going to talk about the predicted team sheets. Now, in terms of team news, I haven't quite got it yet. As soon as I do, I'll be putting it on social media to let you know who will definitely be playing or not. And I'll probably put it in a community post. So make sure you're following us on Twitter, on Instagram, on TikTok, or whatever that blue sky thing, whatever it's called. All those, we've got you covered on there, and Threads as well. What I'm going to do, I'm going to talk about my predicted team and what I want Nuno to do and what I want Nuno to try. So let's get into that. All right, so as always, let's start by reflecting back on the team that started in our last win against Ipswich, and ta-da, that's it there. But before I do that, I just want to talk about some injury updates. So this is outside of what Nuno was saying. Sangare no longer has a hamstring injury, according to what I'm hearing, but has another injury and therefore is going to be out for a while longer, which is just starting to do my head in, man. How can this man not get fit or stay fit? He's starting to turn into a Neokate for me, but I want him back because we do need him back. But we're not seeing him, from what I'm hearing, this side of Christmas. So that's the Sangare thing. In terms of other injuries, it's status quo. Really, Danilo being the other one. He's trained a couple of times, but light touch, non-contact, no diagonal running, Cooper style stuff there. So that's the injury update. In terms of formation, now I'll be honest, it wasn't the most exciting game against Ipswich. I thought we played well for the first 20 minutes of the second half and just couldn't really push our dominance through to get that second goal. And then Nuno does what he does with the finishers in Morato, etc. I'm going to sound like a broken record here, But my gut feeling says do what you did against Liverpool, man. Not necessarily the same personnel. I just don't think Ward-Prowse is quite there. But drop Hudson-Odoi and even drop Jota, because you need to go narrow against Man City. They're struggling with their width. If they play Doku or if they play Savinho or whoever it might be on the wings, they haven't been on form. Where their best threat is going to come from is the middle in their creativity. There's talk that Jack Grealish is going to start in the 8. Gundogan's been absolutely pants since he's come back. He might start. You got Bernardo Silva. That's where their creativity is currently. You block that out, you get some kind of result. Remember, when we did draw with them at the City Ground, that's exactly what we did a couple of seasons out. Gave them the width and just covered the middle third of the pitch. What we did against Liverpool as well, it has to be the correct formula. So Nuno needs to change it around. He needs to go to the 4-3-2-1 in my opinion. Now, if he wants to do it with this personnel, cool. Because he could, in essence, just get the shape right for you guys here. He could just do this in terms of the shape. This is the shape I like against these quote-unquote Cartel 6 teams. And I think it works out better. Now, I would probably bring Moreno back in, if I'm being honest with you. I know a lot of you were impressed with Williams' performance. I just don't think he's a starter for me personally. You guys can call it an agenda. Apparently, if you don't want to pick a player for the first 11, it's an agenda. So call it an agenda. I don't really care. In terms of my midfield 3, this is where I'm struggling a little. I think Dominguez has to come back in. So I'm dropping Hudson-Odoi. He needs to be taken out of the team. I'm going to bring Dominguez back in. I'm probably going to take Jota out as well and then go for Morgan Gibbs-White and Dominguez as the higher 10s, if you like. The loose or advanced 8s, box crashers, whatever the new buzzwords are. And then this brings a headache about who becomes that third body in the midfield. Ward-Prowse isn't good enough for me to do it. I don't quite know how you fix this scenario with the injuries we have. Some of you would say put Murillo into here. This could be quite interesting. And then bring Morato into the defense and go with that back 4. I don't mind that. I really don't mind that at all. Give Murillo a little more license to be a little more aggressive higher up the pitch with the 2 bricks behind him absolutely protecting him. I like that team. I'm not going to lie to you. I like that team. It's concise. It works well. It looks balanced. And then what you do in the second half, about halfway through, then you bring on Callum Hudson-Odoi. Then you bring on Elanga. And yes, I would bring on Elanga. Bring that pace while the Man City defense is tiring. That's probably the team I go with. A little curveball there with Murillo. Would you guys play him in CDM or am I crazy? Let me know in the comments down below. But that's the team I'm going with and I stand by it. Now, if we're talking about Man City and their threats, clearly Haaland is always going to be a threat. Yes, he's going through a dry patch right now, but he's still got a goal in him. He has struggled. Forest, I was going to say that, but then I remembered he scored a hat-trick when I went to the game away a couple of seasons ago. I just don't think they're cohesive enough. I think there's beef between Pep and De Bruyne. That's why De Bruyne hasn't been starting. Forest have to keep Man City silent for the first half. They've got to get 25 minutes in at least. Man City struggling to break through us. And then we can start to play in the second half. It's just Liverpool settings for me. It really is. Now, there is an argument to go to the back 3. Put Morato in with Murillo and Milenkovic. They haven't conceded a goal when those 3 have been playing together. You could do that, but I think you give up the midfield too much if you go down that angle. And in the formation I've gone with anyway, Murillo could then step back into the centre-back position and turn it into a back 3 if we are under the cosh. There's loads of options. Look, if Man City weren't on this stupid loss streak, I'd actually be quite confident that we could go there and win. But I still can't get out of my system the whole charity FC stuff. I've seen it too many times with Forest. But I don't think we lose. I think it ends up a draw, a 0-0, a 1-1, something like that. So I'm going for a draw. And I'd be happy with a draw. As long as we beat the scum on Saturday, and take 4 points from these 2 fixtures, I'll be ecstatic. If we get 6, I'll be over the moon. But 4 points is a very good return from our trip to scummy Manchester. So I'm going for a 1-1 draw. Let me know your score predictions in the comments down below. All right, that brings you up to date on everything in terms of the team, what to expect. Like I said, keep an eye out for posts. If we hear anything on the team, we will let you guys know. And if you haven't already, please don't forget to hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed to Forest Fan TV if you are new. You've got less than 24 hours to grab your tickets for this double-signed framed Elanga Hudson-Odoi shirt. Scan the QR code or click on the link. We'll see you on tomorrow's video. Come on, you Reds.